Welcome back to the show, everyone. And as you can tell from the fresh red overspray on the work shirt cuff, we got some painting done today. It was a struggle though. I don't know why I had the trouble that I did, but we'll just say I decided to shelve the camera and just try to power through it the best that I could. So I'll show you the results. H sheet metal. Yeah, it's all got red paint. There's the hood, there's the fuel tank. The grill is over here, all hardware. We've got the electrical box panel face, distributor and drive, miscellaneous clips, springs, brackets, hardware over there. And on this side, the tubes, the lines, the hood hooks, choke rod, generator brackets, and the like. So, here's where the struggles began. I wouldn't say low on paint, but I had none extra to spare when it comes to the rest of the Martin Senior Napa brand paint that I've been putting on this tractor right here. So this is all we have left. That's probably 3/4 full, just under a quart. So I decided the first paint batch was going to be knock the sheet metal out of the way because I wanted to make sure I had good color match to the rest of the chassis on the sheet metal. So paint batch number 1 was the hood, the fuel tank, the grill, and then we just kind of exhausted the rest of it on some of the minor parts, and then mixed batch number 2. The trouble though is batch number 1, I don't know if the paint being almost a year old like changed the consistency. Mosquito in here. We had doors open a lot today. Or if something is awry with my paint gun, because I was just never able to adjust a slight orange peel finish out of the layer that was being put down. And these aren't horrible, but they're not the absolute glass-like mirror finish that I got on the fenders and the toolbox and the air cleaner and anything else that was rather flat steel. I don't know if you're really going to pick it up in this camera. When I glint in the light, like especially down here, I can see it with my eye. I don't see it so much in the viewer. So it's not bad, but it's not the best I could do either. So, well, partly out of frustration and also partly out of just being in a rush because I had today and today only to spray the paint. Paint batch number 2, I actually accidentally, when I was mixing up the batch, went a little bit heavy on the reducer. So paint batch number 2 was a little bit thinner consistency, and all of a sudden I had the finish back that I always wanted. This was the first piece. This was the grill insert, okay? Goes in the bottom of the main grill. And right out of the gate, perfect finish on that. To the finish that I wanted to have on the rest of the sheet metal. So that slightly thinner paint batch is what finally did it. And this was batch number 2. Starter came out great. Ignition coil came out great. Generator came out great. So, and this is not me trying to make excuses. Something changed either with the paint, maybe being as old as it is, or with the gun since the last time I used it. Either way, we got through the Farmall H final paint batch. Every piece for this whole tractor is now wearing a coat of red. That part does feel good. Another thing that added to my stress today was the fact that late last summer when I bought this 2nd gallon of the Napa Martin Senior PCC 135IH Farmall Red, my Napa distributor told me then that paint was becoming hard to find, like there was no more supply coming from the manufacturer. And I did a quick internet search today. Every hit showed out of stock for that paint. So I'm thinking that IH Red Napa premix is probably no longer available. So that meant we had however much paint we had in the can, and that was going to be about it. I knew we had enough to get to the finish line, but I also knew in the midst of it that do-overs were probably not in the cards. So I had to make a lot of snap decisions on the fly today. I decided, with an orange peel finish, you can wet sand it out, or you can just go with it. This is a Farmall H tractor after all. It bothers me a little bit because I've put better finishes on things, but This is passable for this type of a tractor. It is the nicest paint that this tractor's ever had on it. And in the case that I did wet sand through the paint layer and started exposing some primer, I doubt I have enough to do a full respray. So I am also a firm believer in the old adage, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Be happy with what you've got and don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Some days it's just not your day. The mosquitoes still like me though. So it'll just wear the finish that it has right now. I've made that decision. So yeah, even I'm not a professional painter, but I've painted enough tractors that usually I can make things work out how I want them to. But some days, some paint batches, even still, just they don't really go your way. So one more bit of news and then I'll let you all go. Approaching the building pad. So as of right now, it is 7 days before all the building materials are due to show up out here. So that means not only do I have to get my seatbelt off with one hand, that means that there are going to be quite a few building related tasks that I'm going to have to do on the property out here to make sure the last of my ducks are in a row and everything is ready to accept several semi-loads of building materials. And one way or another, we are getting Rick Bork's Cultimulture out of there, even if I have to do it with a cutting torch. Hollow threat. One way or another, we're going to get that Cultimulture out of our way. Oh, I'm getting wound up. So I don't know what we're going to have for videos this coming week with me just doing mundane tasks out here. I may also be helping Senior work on his little garage building some more. We could get some content out of that possibly. But yeah, within a few weeks, we should have a building going in where we are standing right now. So definitely looking forward to that. Thank you everyone for watching. Sorry we didn't have a lot for action in the sequence today. It was just one of those days the camera would have just been a bit too much. So still, we got through it. Exciting times, and I hope to see y'all back again.